Elena woke before the sun, the calluses on her hands aching from yesterday's work. She flexed her fingers, wincing, then rolled out of bed. There was no time to rest. The bakery belonged to her family for 3 generations, but after her father's passing, the burden had fallen entirely on her shoulders. Business had slowed, and debts had piled up. People preferred the new, sleek bakeries in town, with machines that could churn out hundreds of pastries in minutes. Elena had no fancy machines, just her hands, her father's old recipes, and an oven that groaned with age. She stepped into the kitchen, tying her apron around her waist. The flour-dusted wooden counters, the scent of yeast thick in the air. She kneaded the dough, pushing and folding, her arms burning from the effort. Some mornings, she wanted to quit. But quitting wouldn't pay the bills. Her mother shuffled in, tired eyes watching her. "You can't keep doing this alone, Elena," she said gently. Elena forced a smile. "I have to." She worked through the morning, shaping loaves, cutting pastries, making sure each one was perfect. But when she opened the shop, only a few customers trickled in. Not enough. Never enough. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The struggle continued. She experimented, adjusting recipes, adding new flavors, offering free samples. But the competition was fierce, and her savings were dwindling. One evening, exhausted, she sat on the bakery steps, watching the people pass by without a second glance at her shop. A voice interrupted her thoughts. "You used to sell the best bread in town." She turned to see an old man, a familiar face from her childhood. He held a loaf she had baked earlier, the crust golden and crisp. He tore off a piece and smiled. "Still the best." Elena sighed. "Not enough people think so." "Maybe they just forgot," he said simply. "Remind them." She thought about his words all night. Then, an idea took root. The next morning, instead of waiting for customers, she took her bread to the streets. She set up a small table near the town square, offering samples to passers-by. Some ignored her, but others stopped, curious. They tasted, they nodded, they smiled. Word began to spread. People who hadn't stepped into her bakery in years came back, drawn by nostalgia and the undeniable quality of her work. Orders increased. She worked harder, waking even earlier, baking more. It was grueling, but she didn't stop. Months later, a food critic visited. The next day, an article appeared, *A hidden gem, the bakery that revives tradition. *The line outside her shop stretched down the street. Elena still woke before dawn, still kneaded each batch by hand. But now, she did it knowing her father's bakery had a future. As she shaped the dough one morning, her mother walked in and smiled. "You did it." Elena looked at her flour-covered hands, then out at the bustling shop. "No," she said, smiling. "I just never stopped." Success doesn't come from waiting. It comes from working, adjusting, and refusing to give up, no matter how hard the road gets.